Mr. Busy by Roger Hargreaves. There has never been anybody quite like Mr. Busy. He could do things 10 times as fast as ever you or I could. For instance, if he was reading this book, he'd have finished it by now. He lived in a very busy-looking house, which he built himself. As you can see, it had lots of doors and windows, and do you know what it was called? Weekend Cottage. Do you know why? Because that's how long it took him to build it. One fine summer morning, Mr. Busy was up about bright and early at 6 o'clock. He jumped up to have a bath, cleaned his teeth, and cooked his breakfast, ate his breakfast, and read the paper, washed up, and made his bed, and cleaned the house from top to bottom. But it was 7 o'clock. Busy Mr. Busy. Now, next door to Mr. Busy lives someone who wasn't quite such a very busy person. In fact, a very unbusy person. Mr. Slow. If he were reading this book, he'd read it like this. He'd still be on the first page. And that same fine summer morning at 5:07, when Mr. Busy knocked at his door, Mr. Slow was fast asleep in bed. He got to bed for an afternoon nap the day before, and somehow hadn't woke up until he heard Mr. Busy knocking at his door. Who's that knocking at my door? He called downstairs. Good morning, cried Mr. Busy. Can I come in? And without waiting for an answer, he went inside. Where are you? He called. Upstairs, came the slow reply. So Mr. Busy went upstairs 2 at a time. Good heavens, he said, you're still in bed. And he made Mr. Slow get up. And he made his bed for him and cooked his breakfast to him and cleaned the house for him. Poor Mr. Slow, he hated to be rushed and fussed. Right, said Mr. Busy briskly. It's a fine day. Let's go for a picnic. Mr. Slow pulled a face. I don't like picnics. He complained. Nonsense. Great, replied Mr. Busy. He busied himself around Mr. Slow's kitchen, making up a picnic for the two of them. If it took him a minute for him. Right, he cried when he finished. Off we go. And he bustled Mr. Slow out of his front door, and off they set. As you can imagine, Mr. Busy walks extremely quickly. And as you can imagine, Mr. Slow doesn't. So by the time Mr. Busy had walked him out, do you know how far Mr. Slow had walked? To his own garden gate. Mr. Busy hurried back. Come on, he cried patiently. Hurry up. Hurry up, replied Mr. Slow. Impossible. Oh, all right, said Mr. Busy. We'll have a picnic in your garden. Wait a minute, though, he added. The grass needs cutting. And he rushed back to Weekend Cottage and rushed back again with his lawnmower and rushed up and cut down Mr. Slow's lawn. Taking him 2.5 minutes. It would have taken him 2 minutes, and he had to mow around Mr. Slow. He couldn't get out of the way in time. Right, cried Mr. Busy. Picnic time. And together on that fine summer day, they had a fine picnic. Well, actually, Mr. Busy had a finer picnic than Mr. Slow because he ate more quickly and had most of the food. Mr. Busy stretched out of the grass. That is fun, he said. I like picnics. You do. I don't. Subscribe, Mr. Slow. Tell you what, well, Mr. Busy, ignore him. Tomorrow we'll go on a proper picnic out of the country. Mr. Slow pulled a face. And went out, Mr. Busy. In order to do that, I'll get you out of the country. I had to call for you earlier, I did this morning. Mr. Slow pulled another face. See you tomorrow then, said Mr. Busy, and went up and down and cleared his house from top to bottom. The following morning, Mr. Busy jumped out of bed at 5 o'clock and had a bath to clean his teeth because breakfast at 8, breakfast to read the paper, and washed up and made his bed and cleaned the house from top to bottom. By which time it was 6 o'clock. He went and knocked at Mr. Slow's front door. Come on, he cried. Time to be up and about. Picnic day. No reply. Come on, cried Mr. Busy again. No reply. Mr. Busy went inside and went upstairs 3 at a time into Mr. Slow's bedroom, expecting him to find a bed. But he wasn't. And he wasn't anywhere upstairs, and he was anywhere downstairs. Bother, said Mr. Busy, whatever he's gone to. Where Mr. Slow got to was under his bed, hiding. He didn't want to go on any picnic, not he. Bother, said Mr. Busy again. That means I'll have to go on a picnic on my own. Under his bed, Mr. Slow smiled a slow smile. What a good idea, he said, and went to sleep, snoring very slowly. Ah, God. Oh, God. He's dying at me. Okay, this is not attack. It's not. I think I kind of look like him. Or actually, it sounds good. And I guess Mr. Noisy's scream hurts my ears. That I got 17 scores. And oh boy, that Mamafu Pussycat. Can someone fix my eyes? I think Mr. Slow has gotten him in a crank. Mr. Noisy. Has the BC. Has a BC campaign. A parfait. Or a parfait. Something. Or if you get something else, s'il vous plaît. Oh, better get your guide. Better get your guy. You better get your refresh Mr. Man cartoons Bishop Beat. A Bishop Beat. Actually, I'm Mr. B. Okay. I think I might be a stay if Mr. Noisy just actual boosts. What if Mr. Slow makes a new one in the book? I think it might be at the best of a night. Okay, yeah. I will make more stuff for me. Mr. Man Notebook. Actually, not Mr. Noisy is actually bright and a freaked. What is that sound? It's some better good stink. I think it's some egads. I'm like a piece of. Oh. What if happens? Is this the one? I thought. Is it a picnic? It's not a picnic, it's some egads. Some rocks. Yeah, you